This video is about mastering velocity banking when making extra payments on your credit cards works against you. This particular client has 2 credit cards that have a 0% offer on them that is expiring in March. And I am suggesting to her, stop making extra payments on those cards. Here's why. So her Best Buy card currently has a balance of $270. She's been sending an extra payment every month of $51 to get that paid off. And I am saying, do not worry about paying that off. Here's why. So if she were to just make her minimum payment for the next 4 months, she will have paid off $120. At the end of her promotional period, she will have a balance of $150. So that means her promotional period ends in March. So her April statement, she will be charged 30.49% on her remaining balance, not retroactive interest. It'll be 30.49% on the remaining balance going forward. So that would work out to $45.74 for the year in interest if she didn't put anything else on that card. So you divide that by 365 days. That means she's being charged 12.5 cents per day interest on that balance. And that means that her card is going to be paid off in August if she continues just making the minimum payments at a cost of $12.51 in interest. She's been sending an extra $51 to avoid $12.51. So let me show you how that works out. You can go to nerdwallet.com and use their credit card interest calculator when you're trying to figure this out for your own credit cards. But here's how it worked out for her Best Buy card. So in March, she will have a balance remaining on that card of $150. So the interest on that is going to be 30.49%. That's my husband texting me. He said it's 19 degrees. He's working on a deck. You guys, that must be so fun. Okay. So $150 balance in March. Interest is going to be $3.80. So that means going into April, she's going to have a balance of $153.81. She's going to make her payment, minimum payment only of $30. She's going to have a remaining balance of $123.81, and she's going to be charged interest that month of $3.14. So in May, she's going to have a balance now of $126.95. She's going to make her $30 minimum payment. Her balance will drop to $96.95. She will be charged interest at that 30.49%. That will be $2.46 in interest, which brings her into June with a balance of $99.41. She will make her payment of $30, that minimum payment. She will be left with $69.41. She will be charged interest. It'll be $1.76. She will then have a balance going into July of $71.17. She will make her payment. She will be left with $41.17. She will be charged interest of $1.04. She will then have a balance going into August of $42.21. She will make her payment of $30. She will be left with $12.21. She will be charged interest of 31 cents. And in September, she will have a balance of $12.52, and she can pay it off at that point. So she's been spending an extra $51 a month to avoid $12.52 in interest charges. And what I am suggesting is that $51 a month can be better served being directed to her primary card. Now let's look at her Lowe's card. Her Lowe's card is deferred interest, okay? So if she does not have that paid off in March when that expiration comes due, excuse me, then all of that interest from her original purchase, it will be charged to her account the very next day, retroactive, okay? So what that means is she has been sending her minimum payment is $30, but she has been sending an extra $190 for a total of $220 a month to get this thing paid off. However, she did not realize until just very recently that because she's been continuing to spend on her Lowe's card and charging things on her Lowe's card, her payments that she's been sending in have been going to those recent purchases and not the deferred interest promotional offer. So it's been moving her further and further away from paying off that deferred interest balance. And so it's going to be very difficult for her to have that paid off in March. And I'm saying, forget about that. And here's why. So right now, her balance is $1,528.47. In 4 months, if she just paid the minimum, she would have $120 paid off. And so her balance will be $1,408.47. Then that interest from that original purchase back in March of this year is going to hit all at once. And it's going to be around $701.45. So her new balance is going to be $2,109.92. She's then charged interest on that new balance of 26.99%, which means for the year, if she doesn't put anything else on that private label card, and you know how I feel about private labels, don't do it because you can't use it in Velocity Banking, she's going to be hit with $569.47 in interest over that year. So her payment is going to jump from that $30 to $80. But keep in mind, she's been making payments of $220 because she's been making an extra payment of $190, okay, thinking that it was going to pay that off, and it didn't. So I'm saying, again, redirect that $190 to your primary card, and here's why. So her primary card has a balance of $4,800, but it has a lower interest rate than the Lowe's card and the Best Buy card. But because of the higher balance, her interest for the year is $983.52. So she has been sending an extra $51 to Best Buy and an extra $190 to Lowe's for a total of over the next 4 months. That would have been $964 that she would have spent in extra payments to go to that Lowe's and Best Buy in order to save $581.98 in interest. Okay. So her primary card is charging her $983.52, and she was going to spend $964 to save $581.98. Okay, so the math does not math. It does not compute. So what you want to do is stop making the extra payments on those and send that money to your primary card, because that's where you're getting the biggest hit in interest. So if you have any questions about this, if her balances were different, if the numbers were different, I might be suggesting something entirely different. The point is, you have to take a look at the numbers to see where the money is going to do you the most good, because just because you have a 0% offer expiring does not mean that you need to panic and throw extra money at it. It really doesn't. Where does that money need to go? It needs to go to where you're being charged the most interest. Okay. If you have any questions, please post below. Thanks.